You're listening to the IBJ Media Podcast Network.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. The St. Joseph County Area Plan Commission has approved amendments to the city's solar ordinance requiring developers to compensate homeowners within 1 mile of a new solar project if a home within that radius sells below its market value. County Council President Dan Schetzel says the goal is to create balance for homeowners and agricultural landowners.
People are going to have solar on 3 or 4 sides of them, which would clearly bring down the value of their homes. So, if you have a farmer who has farmland close to the city, where he's not going to affect the home values of a lot of folks, then we can rezone that. But I think that for the most of our farmland, we need to leave it farmland.
There are exceptions to the amendments for solar projects that are already underway, as well as future large-scale solar projects on industrial land. The Ball State University Teachers College is partnering with Muncie Community Schools to support current teachers who want to become school leaders. The Leadership Pipeline program allows eligible MCS employees to receive 50% reduced tuition for Ball State's Master's in Educational Administration and Supervision degree. The Imagination Library of Johnson County is launching a fundraising campaign following the Indiana General Assembly's decision to eliminate state funding for the statewide initiative. The Johnson County Community Foundation has contributed $500,000 toward a dollar-for-dollar matching campaign to establish a permanent endowment for the county affiliate of Dolly Parton's early literacy program. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
Elkhart business leaders heard a cautious but measured forecast for the U.S. economy Thursday as uncertainty over tariffs weighs on hiring, consumer sentiment, and business investment. Tom Jalix, chief investment strategist at Fifth Third Private Bank, told attendees at the Greater Elkhart Chamber of Commerce's Economic Update Luncheon that recent softness in job growth is tied directly to trade policy flux. He framed tariffs, tax reform, and deregulation as the 3 legs of what he called the nation's economic policy stool, but noted that the measure would have to be maintained across administrations to yield any results.
China has a big advantage on the United States in that they have kind of a singular leadership over very, very long periods of time. They tend to have one economic policy and they stick with it for decades. We tend to have regime changes every 4 years, and regime changes bring about different political aspirations and economic policies.
Despite near-term challenges from tariffs and uncertainty in consumer sentiment, Jalix said the U.S. economy is fundamentally strong, supported by low unemployment, moderating inflation, and policies designed to spur investment. The city of New Haven is launching a community wellness initiative aimed at improving the well-being of residents throughout the city. As part of the effort, the city has added a pair of positions to its community development department and issued a survey for residents to identify the needs of the community as well. The anonymous survey will collect input about various aspects of physical, mental, and social health. The goal, the city said, is to identify what programs currently exist and work well, what services are needed, and what residents would like to see. Responses are being accepted through October 19th. The J. Cruz Education Center in Auburn has received a $250,000 gift to support a program that its executive director describes as a children's museum for career exploration. Matthew Toth, a former high school principal, says his goal with Career Quest is to get kids out of the school building to explore different careers in a fun, immersive way.
I don't think we did a good enough job of that in the schools, getting kids out of the 4 walls of the building. And when we did, it was very difficult for businesses to host students at their place of employment. And so what we're doing at Career Quest is recreating that space and recreating the experiences so that they can come in and spend as much time as they need to exploring all of the different jobs.
Career Quest is an interactive attraction designed to give students an opportunity to learn about careers in a wide variety of fields. Toth says he expects to welcome pilot groups of students beginning this fall. Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Get a behind-the-scenes look at Indiana's most influential leaders. On Business and Beyond, we go beyond titles and resumes to explore the personal stories, pivotal moments, and hard-won lessons that shape Hoosier leadership. Hear from the people driving Indiana forward in their own words. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcast or at ibjpodcasts.com.
Do you want to know what really drives change in Indiana? You won't find it in sound bites, you'll find it in stories. Stories from CEOs, lawyers, coaches, entrepreneurs, and community advocates. That's the IBJ Media Podcast Network. Insightful, local, impactful. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcast.com.